Welcome to the Voice of the Student podcast, where real student stories meet the science of well-being, energy, and learning. Hi, I'm Dr. Kelley Spence, a well-being specialist, education advocate, and author of The Voice of the Student, here to help reimagine education so that teachers are resourced, students are truly seen, and classrooms become places where both can thrive. This space is dedicated to you, the hardworking teacher and educator, offering grounded, science-backed, energetically aware strategies to support your well-being so your classroom can better meet and exceed the needs of your unique 21st century students. Take a breath, settle in, and let's explore how caring for your nervous system, your intention, and your energy is one of the most powerful ways to transform education from the inside out. Everything in this movement to reimagine education for both teachers and students rests on a simple truth. When we regulate the adult nervous system first, we create the conditions for adolescent brains to feel safe enough to learn, take risks, and engage more fully in the education experience. When your body is grounded and your energy is intentional, you can design a classroom that works with, not against, the teenage brain. So well-being and learning rise together. On any given day, you're managing lesson plans, emails, attendance, behaviors, grading, meetings, and administrative requests, and that's all before lunch. It's easy to slip into survival mode and just get through the day. Intention setting is one of the simplest ways to gently pull yourself back into alignment with why you're teaching and how you want your classroom to feel, without adding one more giant task to your plate. It's not about perfection. It's about remembering what matters most, on purpose, in the middle of everything. When you set a clear intention, you're essentially giving your brain a filter. This is what matters most right now. Your mind starts noticing opportunities that match that intention and letting go of some of the noise that does not. The same is true for your students. When they know the purpose of the class, the unit, or even just of today's lesson, they're more likely to engage, persist, and see meaning in the work in front of them. Intention is quieter than a rule, but often more powerful. It's the difference between we have to get through this content and we're here to learn, and I want this room to feel safe, focused, and connected while we do it. Inside our online course, The Engaged Classroom, intention is paired with dominant energy so that the way you show up, what you focus on, and how your room feels are all moving in the same direction instead of competing with each other. Think about your most important why for this year, or even just for this semester. If you had to put it into one sentence that describes the feel of your ideal classroom, what would you say? Here's a few examples you can borrow or adapt. My intention is to create a safe, positive, and engaging space where we learn and grow together. Or, my intention is to create a classroom where both me and my students enjoy being, where learning and personal well-being go hand in hand. You could post this at the front of the room, add it to your syllabus, or place a shorter version at the top of your slides. The point is for you to see it as often as your students do, so it becomes the foundation you keep returning to, especially on those hard days. Module 1 of the Engaged Classroom walks you step by step through crafting this overarching intention and using it to shape your routines, your language, and the way you hold space. Now let's zoom in from the year-long intention to something you can use in the first 2 minutes of class. Here's a simple opening routine you can try. First, as students are settling in, write a short intention for the day where everyone can see it. It can be content-focused, like today we'll practice asking better questions, or climate-focused. Today we'll practice listening more than we speak. Then next, once students are seated, you might say, okay, let's take a quiet moment and set your own intention for how you want to show up today, as a learner, as a classmate, and as a human. Let them know they don't have to share it out loud, but just choose one thing that matters and focus on it just for a moment. Give them like 10 to 20 seconds of genuine silence as they do this. And if your class culture feels ready, you might invite a few volunteers to share their intention if they choose. Or you can ask for a simple nonverbal cue, like if you've set an intention for yourself, just give me a small nod or a thumbs up. This whole process can take less than a minute and quietly shifts everyone from, I'm just here because I have to be, to, I am choosing how I want to show up right now. Then at the end of the day, or even just at the end of one class, you can close the loop with a simple reflection for yourself. Did my actions today match my intention? Where did they naturally align? Where did things go sideways? And what's one small adjustment I can make tomorrow? You can then invite your students into their own version of this with a quick exit ticket. Like, my intention was ... One way I lived it today was ... These micro-reflections strengthen self-awareness and help both you and your students practice living more on purpose instead of just on autopilot. Intention is not one more thing to do. It's the invisible framework underneath what you're already doing. When you get clear on how you want your room to feel and you revisit that on purpose, your teaching, your energy, and your students' experiences all begin to shift. You're allowed to lead your classroom by design, not just by default. Thank you for spending this time with the voice of the student. Here, teacher well-being is not an afterthought, it's the foundation. When the adult nervous system is grounded, classrooms become safer, more human spaces where the adolescent brain can finally exhale, engage, and thrive. If this episode sparked ideas for your classroom, imagine what's possible with a step-by-step roadmap and a community of educators doing this work alongside you. Head over to thevoiceofthestudent.com to learn more about my foundational self-paced online course, The Engaged Classroom, and my educator training, The Reimagine Educator Method, both designed to help you transform the teacher-student experience with science-backed tools, intentional classroom energy, and sustainable habits that work in real schools with real students. If this episode supported you, please like, subscribe, and follow The Voice of the Student and share it with one teacher friend. Together we can elevate the teacher-student experience, one nervous system, one class, one student, and one teacher, and one school at a time. Your energy, your intention, and your voice matter more than you know. Listen, innovate, educate. Thanks for listening and all that you do. Until next time on The Voice of the Student.